everyone is talking about Claude Bot,
Claude Bot.
OpenClaw, MoltBot,
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
It's
MoltBot. Yeah, it's changed
yeah,
names 3 times now. It's
yeah. So it's now OpenClaw is its official name. Hopefully
yeah.
that sticks by the time this
As
video
of the
comes
time of
out.
recording,
Yeah.
it's. I feel like we have to state that.
So OpenClaw is being hailed as the personal assistant or the AI assistant that was promised to us. For me, I've been playing around with OpenClaw this week, trying to get it to work, arguing with it a lot. It has a whole bunch of uh, skills and integrations, and obviously there is a few for Home Assistant. Um, so yeah, I installed OpenClaw. I put it on its own VPS because if you put it on they recommend a Mac Mini in your house, but if you're giving it access to your personal files, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable
At that
enough.
point, I don't even know if I
It.
want it in my house. Yeah, go run
Mm,
in this isolated thing somewhere, and then I'll only give you access to what you need.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I installed it as a Docker container on a VPS, and that turned out to be a world of hurt. I just had trouble telling it to install skills. I ended up arguing with it. It was telling me that skills
Yeah.
weren't in the folder that they were in, didn't have permission to install things. So I eventually installed it natively on the Ubuntu operating system on the VPS. Um, I had a whole OpenClaw sounds great, and I'm sure it's just me as a learning curve. For me as
Yeah.
a programmer, I like to be able to go in and edit, config settings, and see the source of truth. Behind OpenClaw, it's a bit ambiguous on where things are. There's the main JSON config file, but its memory, its persona, the way it operates, they're all markdown files in a workspace. Um, that it manages itself, and it's
Yeah.
a whole thing. Anyway, trying to keep this to Home Assistant focused, I asked it to control some lights on my Home Assistant instance, and it said, "Oh, sorry, I can't do that." So I was like, "Well, Home Assistant has MCP servers, and
Yeah.
Claw Code can apparently talk to MCP servers. So this can't be that hard, right?" It was hard, right? Let me tell you,
Yeah.
I've been arguing with my AI on how to use MCP servers too much this week. I've burnt through so many credits trying to tell this thing just how to use an MCP server.
Yeah.
So I originally started off giving it a long-lived token with the HA MCP server add-on. We eventually were able to ping the MCP server after a bit of back and forward together, only for it to find out that no, it can't use a long-lived token for whatever reason. So I then
Right.
I gave it the instructions from Home Assistant on how to get the OAuth keys, they're not real OAuth keys. It uses parts of your subdomain or redirect URL. We were able to eventually get a client ID for it to use for the OAuth flow and get a token and a refresh token. And after a lot of back and forth, I finally got it to be able to turn off my office lights. And it wasn't quick. I said, can you turn off the office lights? And, 30 seconds later, the office lights turned off, right? So it's clearly going through the motions in the background. It's, okay, I need to go find this MCP server, log into this MCP server, find the lights, the office down lights, turn them off, and then report back. It would have been quicker for me to use the Raycast extension and turn off the lights.
Interesting. And so the latency was actually that bad, or that whole process was actually that bad, or that slow. I wouldn't want to say bad, but that you could just, or if you even had, to your point, if you had a tablet, you could just go in and click.
Yep. Yeah, it was like the LLM had to think how do I perform this action?
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to, yep, I know I need to call this, that. Now, there are skills that you can use and install in OpenClaw. Once again, that's a whole other rabbit hole that I'm fighting
Yeah.
with the LLM to do. And then I thought I'd get smart and introduce sub-agents to the mix. And Subagents then have their own world of pain that they're even more restricted, and the main agent has to teach the subagents how to do things.
Right.
Yeah, it's been it's been a challenge. I thought like for me, this was my first use of an MCP server. Like MCP to me was the go to for like AIs to communicate with other APIs, right? But no, OpenClaw just could not stand, uh, like just struggled doing its thing to talk to this Home Assistant MCP. So I was quite uh, frustrated. I even like just before this recording, I was like, oh, maybe I'll try and do a live demo in this recording. I'll be like, okay, let's go ahead and turn on the downlights while I'm in the
Yeah.
recording. No, it's now giving me like, please run this curl command on the VPS box so we can work out what's wrong with the server. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I copy and paste what it gives me, and it's got syntax errors and extensions aren't installed. And now we're getting into a fight about why is it running in Docker or is it running on the server?
Oh,
Like, yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, there are. I think OpenClaw like it's getting a lot of attention, at least at the time of this recording.
yeah.
I do think there is potential there for the ability for like an agent to then run your Home
Sure.
Assistant for you. Um, how
But
much?
isn't that the point of Home Assistant? Is that you don't need an agent to run Home Assistant?
Thank you. Again, that was going to be my next point, right? Like
Okay.
the agency, like it can do things like I can say to it, like, wake me up at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and I assume it can then go in and turn the lights on at 6 a.m. tomorrow, right? For
Yeah.
me. But Home Assistant could do that already. I could just set an alarm on my phone, and the next alarm sensor in Home Assistant will then be able to know, okay, turn the lights on 15 minutes before. I don't need an LLM burning tokens to do that for me.
Yeah.